Hannah Kaplan, and this is the WCS Wild Audio Podcast, where you'll find reported audio stories covering the latest news and newsmakers from the Wildlife Conservation Society's Global Conservation Program, Zoos and Aquarium, and their many partners. We've got a great show today, so let's get to it. Participants from around the world gathered in Nice this week for the third United Nations Oceans Conference. It was an opportunity to assess the current state of marine conservation and seek ambitious new opportunities to achieve progress toward ocean protection. WCS was there with a big announcement to make. Nat Moss has this report.
Stacy Jupiter heads the Wildlife Conservation Society's Global Marine Program. She was in Nice, France this week for the United Nations Oceans Conference, which brings together thousands of representatives from across the globe representing government, funders, non-governmental organizations, and civil society to report on commitments that advance the sustainable management of the world's oceans.
These commitments were set under Sustainable Development Goal 14, which is informally called Life Below Water. So the conference has met every 3 years since the SDG goals were agreed in 2015. And it's a critical opportunity to really benchmark the progress made on all aspects of marine management that are covered in SDG 14, including ocean protection, sustainable use of marine resources, reducing pollution, supporting small-scale fishers, and things like implementing the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea.
High on the agenda for WCS this year was a new 30 by 30 Ocean Accelerator, for which $40 million in commitments was announced, including $10 million in new financing raised through a challenge match from WCS trustee Trevor Kempner.
The purpose of the accelerator is to help expand ocean protection and effective management to help achieve a target that was set in the Global Biodiversity Framework to protect 30% of the world's land and the seas by 2030.
That framework, which you may have heard referred to in previous episodes as the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, emerged in late 2022 at the biennial meeting of the Convention on Biological Diversity.
The Ocean Accelerator mobilizes these resources towards using technical support from our WCS teams and partners and financial support where there are opportunities that we can fast track either the establishment of new ocean protections or critically strengthen existing protections that are already in place.
As an example, Stacy points to a marine protected area in Puerto Rico that needed a little help to get established. It's an example that captures the way the accelerator can leverage broader relationships to create important advancements for marine conservation.
One of the most exciting examples that I can think of in a way that we were able to mobilize funding through the accelerator for quick action is through our support to the Caribbean Biological Corridor.
The Caribbean Biological Corridor is an intergovernmental platform that brings together 5 member states: Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Haiti, and Puerto Rico for joint environmental planning. They've been working collectively to identify places in need of ocean protection to meet the 30% goal.
There had been a proposed MPA on the cards with a lot of work by grassroots organizations in Puerto Rico that just needed this little extra push to get it over the finish line. So we were able to use funding through the accelerator for a convening of the Caribbean Biological Corridor and took that push from the member states to get Puerto Rico to finally sign off on the designation of a 200 square kilometer new MPA in Puerto Rico. So this was a great win for Puerto Rico. It was a great win for the grassroots organizations that had been pushing this for 16 years. But we felt proud that we could help make that little bit of extra difference to get this MPA over the finish line.
Joining Stacy in Nice was Pamela Castillo, currently leading the WCS Marine Program's efforts to achieve the 30 by 30 goal. Pamela previously served as Vice Minister of the Environment in Costa Rica under then-Minister Carlos Manuel Rodriguez, who now leads the Global Environment Facility. She's excited about the potential reach of the new funding mechanism.
The WCS Ocean Accelerator is one innovative solution in the sense that is an internal fund that give flexibility to unlock larger fundings for marine conservation around the world and specifically in 26 countries where WCS fantastic country programs, field programs are working with local communities, with local governments, with national governments in creating sustainable outcomes for marine conservation.
Pamela says this is an inherently attractive opportunity for funders eager to support the 30 by 30 goal.
For a donor that is interested in contributing to achieve this global target, when they put the money in the Ocean Accelerator with this flexibility, is actually supporting 26 countries to achieve MPAs around the world, because it helps to leverage or unlock larger funding as well.
One program that has just received support leveraged through the 30 by 30 Ocean Accelerator that Pamela has been closely involved with is the Women's Ocean Guardians. Developed in coordination with women leaders from 11 Latin American and Caribbean countries, the effort seeks to elevate women's priorities for coastal marine conservation and sustainable development into national policy dialogue. The group has called for concrete actions by governments to eliminate gender-based violence, recognize the benefits and burdens of caregiving, enhance fairness of labor practices, guarantee health care, and foster leadership opportunities for women.
We are proud that the WCS 30 by 30 Ocean Accelerator, understanding the need of support, inclusive, participatory process for creating and managing MPAs and other effective conservation measures, provide the support to co-design the Women Ocean Guardians initiative as a solution for bringing a vulnerable group, but as well a very important leadership group as part of achieving a global target like 30 by 30, and be able to sit in the table where decisions that shape their future, they will be able to participate in that decision-making process.
The highest priority for the accelerator, says Stacy, is not to choose the most impressively sized marine areas for protection, but rather the right areas capable of delivering the most effective outcomes.
We pick the areas of protection carefully. We're not just interested in achieving a percentage target. We're interested in making sure that where there's protection in place, it matters for biodiversity and for people.
The unique opportunity of the Ocean Accelerator comes down to WCS as an organization with its feet rooted in the ground in so many places.
WCS has long-standing, in many cases, decades-long partnerships with governments, local communities, and other implementing partners on the ground in these countries where we work around the world. So we have direct insight into the conditions where things are feasible or where they're not, also in terms of where things are going to work for new marine protected areas or other types of ocean management, where things are on paper a marine protected area, but really there's not a lot of actual implementation happening. And so the advantage of routing funding through the accelerator is that we have all of that local knowledge to be able to direct the funding in ways that people might miss if they were taking a bird's eye view.
That closeness to people impacted by ocean policy is personal for Stacy.
I feel very fortunate to be living in Fiji, and my family lives on a very small island within an estuary that's just a couple miles from the ocean. And so we are in touch with the ocean every single day. We go fishing from our backyard. My son is a really great fisherman. We keep a record of all the different species that he's caught. And I think having this intimate connection to the ocean and seeing what's out there and being able to teach my son all of the wonders of what's out there, I want to pass that passion on to him, and I can already see it.
Stacy's lived experience is perhaps a model for what the 30 by 30 Ocean Accelerator can achieve on a wider scale.
What's very hopeful in Fiji is that I see a lot of local action from communities who are very connected to their home, the places that they're from, and they themselves don't wait for the government, but they take action in terms of reducing their impact, either by setting rules on where or with what gear they can fish, or by working in the upstream watersheds to reduce the pollution going out to the reef. So it's a really hopeful place to be as the executive director of a global conservation program, because I see marine ecosystems that are still in good shape, and where things have been degraded a bit, I see people taking action on a daily basis to recover those systems.
For WCS Wild Audio, this is Nat Moss.
Today's episode was produced and reported by Nat Moss, with help from Dan Rosen and Hannah Kaplan. The WCS Wild Audio Podcast is a production of the Wildlife Conservation Society. Stay tuned for our next episode. And don't forget to follow, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts.